Good. So, good morning. Please, this is a presentation for Karel. I'm Stefano Soggia, and I'm a group marketing manager for refrigeration distribution. Now, I want to introduce you to one of our brand new controller that is called IJW. It's the refrigeration controller for smarter field commissioning. So, we are talking about refrigeration. Let's talk about refrigeration installer. One of their tasks is basically on service replacement on field, or sometimes on new installation where they need to make a new controller, a new panel for control. So refrigeration installer usually purchase their controller from the refrigeration wholesaler channel, which is the main problem for installers usually. It's time. Why? Because they are making their day-by-day activity when they probably receive an urgent call from an end user. So they need to move on site, they need to go and look at the controller, understand which is the problem on that current device, sometimes go back and get the spare part they need, then move again on site and then fix the problem, and then restart the controller and see if everything works well. So, to address this problem, we are trying to make the product more usable, both from the point of view of an installer and of an end user. Then, another trend that we see around is connectivity. So, connectivity to a more usable interface, or connectivity to a remote or local monitoring system. And then after, there is a technological evolution in a controller. So innovation and design is something that needs to be addressed, because when you are replacing a controller, you still need that the controller looks quite good in that particular application. So for this reason, I would like to introduce you to IJW, our brand new controller. We say smarter field commissioning because it's enabling quick configuration and quick service on site. Let me have a look at our brand new controller through this very quick and fast video that highlight which are the main feature of this controller. So basically you see the two format of the controller. We are aiming at flexibility, so one controller that can fit different kind of application. You can see removable terminal here, can control directly humidity, Modbus RS485 connection, compatibility with NTC PTC APT 1000 probes, and in configuration 2, 4, or 6 relays. This is, of course, the clamping device to fix the controller, IP65 frontal rating, and embedded connectivity, NFC and Bluetooth. What does it mean? That we have an app for service, and it's called Applica. It's the app for the installer. And we have a wizard that allows you an easy configuration, answering just to some question they can address to the correct configuration that you need. Just some parameters and your device is working. What else you can do through Applica? You can manage configuration, save your preferred configuration, share it, compare with the existing configuration, edit, import, and export the configuration itself. You can address the alarms and acknowledge and understand which is the alarm, or in case to reset it. Then you can have access to the live logs or to the historical logs of the controller. You can exploit the RTC for functionalities like the defrost, and you can test which are the loads connected and if they are working in the correct way. From the point of view of the outside of the controller is a capacitive touch technology, backlighted, so you see the buttons are lighted only if they are, let's say, accessible. So very, very simple from the point of view of the control, also for the end user. But we have enabled an app for the end user that is called Controller, to which the end user can directly control the device, download the HACCP log, and it doesn't, let's say, allow the end user to make some kind of mess in the configuration. So everything is absolutely sure from the point of view of the installer. So after this, this is basically a recall of the main functionalities. So a wide application range, embedded connectivity, enhanced usability, both for the end user and also for the installer. This is the touch technology we have seen on the video. And this is basically the connection on the back of the controller, all removable connection to address the highest usability for the installer. Here, compatibility of the NTC, PTC, and PT1000 probe. So which is our value proposal for our customers? It's a no-brainer choice for the end user because it allows a very, very simple interaction with the controller and also the easy management for the HACCP download. It allows to save time on field for installer thanks to the highest usability of the controller and thanks to the app for commissioning and for service. And then also for wholesalers, having a very few number of part number allow us to optimize stock of the distributor and make it more recognizable in terms of when you are giving the product to the installer. This is the range, very simple, a basic version standard of the controller with the TTL connection and of course NFC connection to be serviced by app. Then I have the advanced connectivity version, so a 2 relay and a 4 relay with NFC with Bluetooth that allows real-time connection to the app and BMS embedded, and also the special application configuration that also allow to measure and control humidity. All those controllers work with Modbus protocol, allowing the fact to be inserted in third-party networks. And we have also something for replacement for the Carel network. We are working a lot on the fact to have simple information for the installer. If you look at the QR code, you arrive to the landing page, a web page that allow you to have to download the Applica, to have the documentation, and to get access to the tutorial that allows you to interact with the controller. This is the wizard that we saw before. Then basically you answer some simple question about what you need to do on your controller. Then the app will propose you different kind of application depending on the answer you have given on the first step. Here you can also check the refrigeration circuit and also check the wirings here for a correct installation. Then you have access to a limited number of parameters that are the one that you need to start your application. And then after you are allowed to save your configuration, to export the PDF image of the wiring diagram, to export a PDF list of all the parameters, make comparison with the previous list, previous configuration, and similar activities. What else allow you to do Applica? Basically, the direct control of the controller. Then allow you to test if the connection has been made in the correct way, because you can decide to activate the compressor, to stop it, or to make the same for defrost, to make the same for evaporator fans. So you are 100% sure that the cabling is correct. Then after you can have access to the live trend or have access to the logs and see what happened in that particular moment in which you had an alarm on field. And then, of course, as we said, we have the possibility to save the configuration, to share the configuration, a simple file that you can send through WhatsApp, to Telegram, to your colleagues or similar. We said double connectivity, so NFC and Bluetooth. So which are the difference between the two connectivity? Basically, you can do pretty much everything also with NFCs. Bluetooth allows you to have a real-time control on the controller itself. The only thing that is different from NFCs is that you can configure through the app the controller even if it's powered off. So it's something that you can read the configuration, modify and apply just out of the box without any kind of wirings. If you are a traditional installer and you still want to configure the controller through the keypad without using app, this is the one answer. We have embedded a wizard configuration even from the touchpad. So by looking at the different schemes that we have on our manual, you can select the application, you can select the configuration of the digital input, you can select the kind of probe that you want, and you have your configuration running. Of course, from the part of the display, you will have access to a reduced number of parameters that still allow you to perform a configuration. If instead we look from the point of view of the end user, we have Controlla, that is the app for the end user. What can an end user do? Can connect to the device in real time, see the temperature, see the status of the controller, and send some very simple command to the controller. Then the end user can have access to the live trend or the logs, and of course download the HACCP logs automatically. And then of course have a simplified view on the alarms. Then of course the installer can enable further services for the end user. Why? Because if the controller is connected to a monitoring system, just like the boss from Carel, we can enable a service that you receive, that the end user receives through Telegram, and immediate alarm real time when something happens, even if it's out of his shop. But also through the Bluetooth, through our app controller, we can enable a very, very simple management of the HACCP logs. Just to sum up things, so this is IJW from Carel. It's a product that has been designed for the installer that are purchasing the product in the wholesaler channel. Its application target is about replacement on field of failing devices or about new installation of devices. It is a product that is natively connected. So thanks to the Bluetooth, thanks to the NFCs, thanks to the RS485, so we can connect through app or through monitoring system. From the point of view of the installer, we enable an highest usability thanks to the app and thanks to the wizard that we have seen before that allows you to make the simple configuration of the device. And also thanks to the app Controlla, the app dedicated to the end user, the end user can have access to the device, make simple controller and makes simple control, on the fridge itself, and download the HACCP log automatically. So no more writing temperature on a paper. So If you are interested to see the product live running, you can visit us at Hall 5, stand 306 308. Thank you for your attention.